All right, guys. You guys, y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
This is the Ball Rocket Podcast, episode 40. Yay! For October 10th, 2016. This is brought to you by our wonderful patrons over at patreon.com/ballrocketgaming. Again, as always, guys, we certainly do love the love, so get on over there and check us out. And if you can give a little, it helps us out a whole lot. Hey, guys, welcome back. Yet another wonderful podcast to go through today. I, of course, am joined by my wonderful co-host, Kirok.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And tonight we actually are a special guest on, who's, again, very special. We had him a couple times. You know him. You love him. Ziploc Bob.
Hello, it's wonderful to be back. I have missed you guys.
So Bob decided to jump on with us. He wanted to talk about some fun stuff tonight, namely about kind of like critic ethics. So basically what it is, we're going to be diving into the realm of reviews and reviewers and kind of the balance between honest reviews versus paid reviews versus kind of shady supposed honest reviews that aren't so honest. Anyways, so that's going to be my topic tonight. But of course, first, the news. Okay, so we're going to dive right into this, guys, and to start off with, some wonderful, happy, good news, which is going to be that some losers who are a part of supposedly Lizard Squad and Pool Corp are getting charged by the United States feds for crimes related to DDoS attacks. Now, if you guys play games and you don't know who Lizard Squad or Pool Corp is, what they are, they're a collective of people that are basically a bunch of giant twats with little assholes inside of them that run around and decide to try to bomb games by doing denial of service attacks or DDoS. And what they are basically is they just flood the interweb tubes with bum traffic from zombie systems so that you can't communicate with the server. To put it very simply, they literally just crowd out the event so you can't be a part of it. So long story huh?
They clog the pipes.
They clog the pipes.
But it's like whenever you get a game that you're excited to play on Christmas or on your birthday, well, more so Christmas, you can't, because you can't even download the update because the PSN is down or XBLA is down.
You can't because somebody decided to block you from doing it. And that's exactly what these guys. So anyways, these guys are going to get nailed for this. And what's going to actually happen, there's speculation on it. They did release the people's names. So you can look them up in the article. And quite frankly, I don't know what's going to come of it in terms of an actual lawsuit. But what I do know is that I really want to see these guys get publicly nuked by the internet. I normally, because of the way people are with the internet, internet shaming sometimes goes wrong. In this particular case, I am totally down for just publicly humiliating these assholes, because all they are is stupid, useless bullies. They're shitheads, and I hate them. So there you go.
Yeah, and the beautiful part about it is that the legislation when it comes to cybercrime is so broad. Unauthorized access can, in any way, shape, or form, including DDoSing, it can ruin your life.
Yeah, well, theoretically. But anyways, yeah, I don't think the government can do anything that's going to be bad enough. So I think the internet needs to help out in this. I think we need to out and publicly screw over every single person who's part of this Lizard Squad or Pulu Corp. Because they're just a bunch of
they're going to court, aren't they? They're like it's a done deal, basically.
Well, basically. I mean,
you know what?
One person's from Maryland, which he's boned because this is a U.S. thing. The other one's from the Netherlands.
I don't know what the laws are in the U.S., but they should broadcast the actual court proceedings through VR.
Oh God!
You can't broadcast court proceedings.
I like this idea.
It's right on time. It's right on time with the PlayStation VR that's coming out next week. I think it's going to be on the 13th, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And it's so far early reviews have been pretty good on that system.
Yeah, actually, it's been shockingly good.
Yeah, I mentioned a couple episodes back that I tried it once and I did like it. I did walk away thinking that I'd like to buy it. I think one of the biggest things is the fact that it's going to be unlike an HTC Vive where you have to strap up, put the controllers on and everything. I think where Sony was going is they were going towards something that's easy to pick up and play on the couch. Yes, you still have to strap in, but they made that headset so simple to put on. And the other advantage they have is they got like 50 million PS4 owners already.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as far as someone who's willing or wanting to get into VR, it'll be the cheapest system out there simply because of the fact that they don't have to own a killer machine to run it.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
I look forward to it, and it'll be interesting because there are some honest feedback in terms of how it tracks and whatnot. But I think you're right. It is definitely built to be a simpler, more friendly interface for the masses.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
And
you mentioned it. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, though, they might as well go ahead and get it because it's obviously the only thing out there worth getting at this point, right?
Well, one of the things that's amazing about it is not just the hardware and making it simple and so on, but it's the lineup of games apparently for it.
There are a lot of games for it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of games that they're already lined up. So Sony was smart with this simply because of the fact that obviously they knew they were working on it. We knew they were working on it, Project Morpheus back in the day.
Yep.
But they lined up developers for it, and that's going to be seen probably over the next few months, maybe into the new year. So I think some release titles, I can't remember. One is one of the Batman titles.
Yep, Arkham Asylum, something like
No,
that.
no, it's a Batman Arkham VR, and
Anyways,
that
VR.
one has a
there's
6-month exclusion.
There is a
Oh,
good
does
list there, so guys, check it out because it's going to be worth it. Anybody's into VR, even if you already have a different system, look into this. And if not this, there is an alternative for you.
Yeah, they're not doing if you're like me and you're cheap due to necessity because I'm broke most of the time.
Broke
Google
as a
has
joke
announced-
without a punchline.
I am a walking punchline. Google has actually announced that they're doing a thing called the Daydream View headset. I wonder how they came up with that name.
I don't know. Sounds amazing.
Oh, Daydream. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah. But it sells for $80. It comes in a variety of colors, so you can accessorize.
Okay, so just real quick and easy on this. This is a system in of itself. Is this a system you plug your phone into? What is it?
It's a lot like the Google Cardboard, but something you actually strap your phone into and on your head.
So it's a phone-assisted headset. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So it is the next
apparently
evolution of it.
Yeah. That apparently, because the one thing I did try the Google Cardboard is that it would wear on your nose because it's cardboard. This is actually really comfortable and is actually made out of fabrics that are.
I mean, Google. Okay, but Google Cardboard is made of cardboard, but you could buy a bunch of pieces, a bunch of Google Cardboard compatible things made out of plastic or whatever. All Google Cardboard is basically, hey, hold your phone this far from your face.
Yeah. And
So-
put two lenses in between.
What? Yes. So what
Yeah.
is Daydream? Why is Daydream any different from it's Google Cardboard in denim?
I think they do offer, because I've tried the Google Cardboard too, and to interact with your phone, there's a button that they kind of built in, and then there's this thing that carries your impulse down to the screen. Whereas the Daydream actually has a remote that you're going to be able to interact with what you're seeing on the phone. So each time you want to change something, you don't have to take it off and interact with it manually.
Yeah, it basically comes with a Wiimote.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly.
There you go. Okay, so it actually can have some manner of interaction with it as opposed to that one button option like the Cardboard had. So
but the Google Cardboard was basically the Google Viewfinder.
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I wonder what was different about this. And that gives me I'd be interested. I mean, like I said, this is, to be clear, guys, again, this is not an alternative to VR systems like the Vive, like Oculus, like PlayStation. Hey, for anybody who's not savvy with VR, I always want to stress, every time we bring it up, I want to stress this. There is a very distinct chasm between VR systems for, like, gaming and VR systems that are just kind of fun to play with. And things like Samsung's Gear, this thing, cardboard, etc. These are that other end of things. So please understand that.
Please do educate yourselves on this if you are interested, because there are differences.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to sound like my dad, who still calls everything PlayStation.
I was going to say, if you're interested, stay up to date on it, because there's nothing more sad than being behind the times. Which, by the way, speaking of being behind the times, the Washington Gambling Commission demands, I tell you, the end of Valve's CSGO skin gambling. Now, okay, so rewind a second. In case some of you guys missed it, there's this whole big thing that blew up regarding this CSGO skin gambling. A bunch of different sites that you could basically get skins through CSGO and gamble with one of those websites. So you basically bet your skin, and you could win more skins from other people or lose your skin. And the big tangible issue with this is you could pay money to buy these skins in game. So there's a way to put money into this, and there's also technically a way to get money out of it. So this was just, this is straight up just turn them into casino chips at this point.
Casino, yeah, exactly.
So the big deal with this is this blew up when Honor the Call's website blew one of these sites open and basically said, hey, there's these guys on YouTube that are popular, and we'll get this a little bit later, by the way. And they're not even really promoting or making clear that they're promoting the site when they own the site. So all this to-do goes back and forth. Valve finally says, you know what? Fuck you. We don't want you using our API for the skin sharing for gambling. The whole idea of the API was so you could, have sites for skin trading and whatnot. We don't want gambling. We're not cool with this. They have sent out cease and desist. They have blocked sites already because of it. So
the API is just not used for that. It's used for other sites.
It's used for a lot of things. I don't want to get mired into that, but it's used for a lot of things. And Valve is on top of it. I mean, they're really on top of it. They're like, screw you guys. This is BS. And then
it was a PR nightmare.
A month later now, finally Washington catches up. Yeah, Washington catches up. It's like, Valve, you need to stop this. It's like, okay, first of all, dumbasses, they already have. Second of all, it wasn't Valve!
It wasn't Valve.
You idiots! None of these sites are affiliated with, associated with, or in any way compensating Valve for these acts, okay? Yeah. So, for the love of Christ. So, there's my rant. I'm good, but just welcome to government and the speed of government, and this is by all standards fast. And this is still what happens.
And people say the inbreds come from Tennessee.
So, on December 6th.
Yes.
On December 6th, Oculus finally joins the Vive with Move controllers. Actually, they're called touch controllers.
Yes.
So they will be available as of December 6th. You now have the ability to interact with your worlds by using the touch controllers, very similarly to what you can with the HTC Vive and its controllers.
How much are they going to cost?
They're going to be $199 US. That's US, right? Yeah, that's US. That means like $600 Canadian for me.
Wait, so hold on. They're gonna be $200 for the controllers.
That's correct.
Which you have to buy separately from the Oculus itself.
That's correct. How much was the Oculus originally?
That's what I'm wondering. The only reason why I bring it up is I'm just curious. What is the collective or collaborative cost of the Oculus plus these controllers in relation to the Vive whole system that came with the controllers to begin with? That's what I'm curious about. Anyways,
$599.
The Oculus Rift next generation virtual headset 3D monitor from Walmart cost $829.
Horse Pocky.
Well, okay, hold on. It doesn't end there. When you get an Oculus Rift, you get a camera along with it. The camera is used for viewing the player as because the Oculus Rift is a seated experience, or was. Now it's going to be a a moving and motion experience since the touch is coming out. But the camera was there to track the head movement. And now you can also purchase extra cameras. They're going for $79 US.
Okay.
So essentially, you can potentially do what Vive does, a room scale type setup where you can move in space. I just don't know how well that'll work. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know all these people with an extra room, they don't know what to do other than Airbnb.
Fair enough. This is a topic we're going to have to revisit for certain, because we're talking about now. Oculus was as Kirk said, a sit down experience versus a standing experience. But this will be very interesting because the systems, the way they work, are very different. One has defined cameras that look at you. Well, a camera at the time. Now it's a little bit more than that. I'd be curious how that works out. Also, the controllers, because I got to be honest, the Vive controllers are pretty slick shit.
They're pretty bang on accurate.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm curious to find out if this is too late for them, if they waited too late, or should they have released it all together as a package like the Vive did.
So we need to find out what's going to be better.
Thing blindly that I do about certain games that I review. It might be good. I don't think they priced it right.
No,
no good silver approval.
I mean, the price of the controls themselves is not too bad. Anyways, what you guys need to do is you need to head over to Ball Rocket Patreon account and give us a bunch of money so that Kira can buy the Oculus and review it properly. That will be a completely unbiased review because we'll be paying for it.
For hookers and blow, dang it!
God. Hey.
Nice.
Anyway.
Quick change of subject, but I just want to do a little news follow-up with you guys. You remember that whole thing with Digital Homicide trying to sue a bunch of Steam people, then getting pulled off of Steam because Steam kind of said, hey, you know what? You guys are assholes. Well, funny thing.
Suing John Doe
10
through 100?
Those assholes, they're out of business. Literally, they are out of business, and they're dropping the suit as a result of it because, quite frankly, if you can't make money off your shitty ass games, you really don't have money to pay for your lawyers. So,
well, here's the thing: they dropped it with a certain legal term to where basically they can reinstate it
if they really, really want to. But
they can reinstate it.
I will.
But they're suing Valve, aren't they?
No, they're suing the individuals. That's why they are.
No. I'm saying they moved on to sue Valve.
They did at one point say that they're going to sue Valve.
They said they were going to sue Valve, but I haven't seen any formal paperwork on that. So nonetheless, they're out of business, and they may come back. Supposedly, these guys have come back with iterations of different names before, so they may revive. But under this title, they're gone. So happy hooray for that.
So basically, newsflash: Digital Homicide committed digital suicide.
Absolutely.
And news of other things that got fixed 100% perfectly.
I'm gonna excuse me. Ubisoft finally confirmed. This is a follow-up. Finally confirmed that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is in development. Basically, they said it by name, and I'll read the quote. It says, "If you've been waiting for news about BGND, Beyond Good and Evil, well, here you go. We are delighted to confirm that Michael Ansel, he is the CEO, lead designer. Sorry, is currently working on with Ubisoft Montpellier Studio on a new Beyond Good and Evil game. Yes,
awesome!
I'm super excited about this.
That the first one's been on my bucket list for so long, and I really need to knock it off.
Well, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is wait for review it right before and have the review come out like a week before the second one comes out to boost my views.
I have a question. I want to see if you guys can kind of they teased this initially back in 2008. It stayed quiet and dormant, and now all of a sudden they're going out and saying, "Hey guys, we're doing it." Mm-hmm. Does that mean that they're starting now, or does that mean they've had it in development all that time?
We'll find that out, I'm sure, because I'm sure it's gonna come in the pipe.
Dollars to Donuts is probably in what's called development hell, to where they throw some money at it, stop, because it didn't seem viable.
Who
They
knows?
tried it again,
We
stopped,
will find out.
Who knows?
I'm not going to speculate because there's no point to it. It's a game. People want to see it. They've announced they're actually going to do it. Huzzah. One other really quick note that I'm just going to state is the whole Fallout, Skyrim mods and everything.
Oh, yes.
They're coming to the PS4. There is a lot of asterisks to that. So I highly recommend you pick up the link in the show notes and check it out because, yes, they're back, but it's not going to be what you thought it was. So just
a read.
Yeah, just so you know. Anyways, there are a few other little notes and whatnots and newsworthies that we did not get a chance to catch on. So I apologize for that, guys. Real quick on the calendar. Something noteworthy in regards to the history of things is the first transistor calculator. Now, to be very clear, the terminology calculator is a little misleading. This was the first early days of computers in terms of being able to put in punch cards, program it, get an output. This sucker is about 5 feet tall and about 10 feet long. And this was the smallish
system. I looked at the image and I was like, holy smokes.
Yeah. So
that thing's bigger than my ex-girlfriend.
But this is really fascinating. We have some links in the show notes to talk about what this thing is. I highly encourage you to go over and check it out. It's really fascinating because this is a plug board programmable computer. We actually fed stuff into it. This also used what was called magnetic core memory, which if you don't know what that is, I highly recommend you check it out. It is actually woven memory. Like literally they hired people who knew how to knit to create this kind of memory for things like the Apollo mission. So
awesome. Basically they got the people who read the loom from the Wanted movie.
Yeah, basically. Anyways, birthdays. Just want to do a quick shout out to Tweak, my buddy Tweak. You see, you guys have seen him on World of Warships back in the day when I was playing. So happy birthday to you, Tweak, my friend, my buddy. Tweak. He's 40. He's old.
Yeah, I don't feel so bad about turning 30 next year now. It's like I'm old, but you're older.
There is a lot of events and releases coming out this week, guys, just so you know. So I definitely encourage you, again, go to the show notes, check out what's coming up here. This includes a lot of nonprofit events, Steam events, etc. There's also some releases for Gears of War 4, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and
Res Infinite,
which
is
has something to do with a vibrator. I don't know.
By the way, the Res Infinite is a PS4 PSVR launch title on October 13th. So
there you go.
Pretty awesome.
All right, guys.
Wait, so they are going to have force feedback?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They are. You're right.
Yeah, because like boom, boom, boom. So hopefully you won't see people sitting on their VR system for some reason.
Anyways. So on the topic of, things that are inappropriate and phallic and everything else, we'll take a quick break to talk about Zero Plays Games. Because, when we think about things that are inappropriate, we think about Zero. Now, seriously, guys, Zero is a really cool cat. He's got a lot of content still coming out on his gaming channel. He's doing a lot of different things you can see here. He's got Far Cry. He's got Saints Row. He's got just in general shenanigans outside of this. He also is one of the principal people in Minus the Rumors, a wonderful, sister podcast of sorts.
He's also doing an extra live stream, not right now, but he's been doing them for the past
That's right,
few weeks.
He's doing extra live streams. So if you guys want to check out some fun good times, I cannot stress enough, this is definitely somebody worth checking out because the games he plays are a lot of fun to watch in general, and he does a good job kind of lending tidbits, insights, commentary, and fun stories. So another one definitely worth picking up if you haven't already. So go on over, you look him up. Just look up Zero Plays Games. You find him everywhere, including his YouTube channel, as well as Twitter and other places. So,
yay!
Hey guys, I want to talk about ethics in games.
You got me here for ethics. Okay, this is going to go wonderfully.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, again, guys, to give you kind of a trimmer so you understand what we're talking about here, The thing that kind of sparked this was Bob had brought up about the idea of critics and ethics. And the core idea here is people who give reviews, are they being honest and unbiased? And of course, the most common things are they being paid to say good things? Are they being influenced somehow? And the problem is that there's a very wide gray band from end to end, and it's really hard to kind of discern, because there's situations, to give you a quick example, that go from literally forking over your own dime to do an honest review, all the way into the getting a free copy or getting other unrelated things from the same company. Even though you're doing a review on game A, you might get a key to game B, all the way up into, hey, we will pay you money to talk about this game positively. So we're going to dive into that and talk about it in a little more detail. Now, for the aspect of doing reviews, I want to be very clear on this. When it comes to doing a review, specifically, it's talking about a game, basically outlining a criteria or a list of things you would rate the game by, so as to be able to compare it to other games. So things like video quality, gameplay, storyline, audio quality, etc.
Yeah.
That's the idea of a
presentation. Is the payoff worth it?
Exactly. So that's the idea of what a review is, and those usually come in two forms. Usually, there's a first impressions versus a full review, meaning basically short term, quick play the game, get a feel for it, versus actually going through the game for a while, if not to the end, to give it a full review. We are going to be touching on both of those, kind of a little more depth in different parts here, but I just want to make that kind of distinction, and we'll try to reinforce as we're going through the topics here. But again, first impressions are oftentimes seen when a game is in pre-release, or there's dev experiences, or quick media exposure, media demos, things like that. You'll see people who go from news sites to an event like E3 to go to their booth to play 5 or 10 minutes of a game.
Yeah,
that's
and even then, those who can be considered not even first impressions, but previews. So again, it can even get murkier. And full disclosure, yes, I do review games, but one, I've only been doing it for 2 months, and I can only speak to, when it comes to reviews, the game side of it, because that's my field. I don't worry about movies and stuff. So,
well, I mean, we all play games. We all have our opinions about games, but there's a big difference between playing a game through. I play games. You guys know I play Warships and things like that, and I'll give my impressions and opinions on them. But that's not a game review. It's gameplay that I have to give opinions on. Bob actually on his channel is going through and actually playing games and giving an honest to God review, his opinions on the gameplay.
Yeah, I don't do reviews myself. In fact, I'm one of those guys that relies heavily on going to sites that have done reviews, people who have gone through it and spent the time to play the game, and then I get some feedback as to whether I want to go out and spend my money for that game.
I don't. I look at the pretty pictures and just say, yep, that looks good.
Like how, as a reviewer, how I buy games right now is I wait for a Steam sale, I buy a bunch of crap.
Oh God!
So I can have one thing a week, and I have played some tripe.
I am so happy that that my wife is very strict about not giving me money right now, because Steam would make me so effing poor. Okay, so guys,
the thing is like I have okay, Steam sale's coming up, honey. How much can I spend? That's literally how I have to pull it.
Yeah,
I try to get
give me my allowance, lady. I want my allowance now.
It's like, I've been giving you all my money. So how much money can I spend on video games? It's like,
exactly.
Well,
now,
so
this month I got a replacement controller.
Okay, what are the two main kinds of reviews that you would see?
So that's a good question.
Okay. As far as with whenever I look at reviews to buy things before I started reviewing myself, because I kind of have to dampen what I see to keep purity and all that good stuff, I would see a point-by-point plot synopsis, to where it's someone talking about the game and the control, the pacing, how it feels, and blah, blah, blah. Like, say, Pro Jared, Gerard Completionist does this, that sort of thing.
Okay,
right?
hold on. That's how you do a review. I understand that. Yeah. But there are, for the sake of this topic, we want to talk about the ethics of it, not how you do reviews. And to start off with,
this
when
is
it
just
comes
two
to
different
reviews,
types.
which are
it's like, well, right. Typically, when those people do it, because they're YouTubers and are not industries, they receive no money from the companies. At most, what they might get is they might get the game for free. That's still considered not sponsored. It's just in your best interest to disclose that you were given a review copy.
So this is where we can actually argue a bit in terms of where. So to be very clear, guys, there are two very distinct kind of, well, I could say there's a black and white world here. There's sponsored and there's non-sponsored. So non-sponsored would be basically you pay for this game like any other Joe. We stand in line with you when the store opens. We go out and buy the copy. We go home. We play with it. Yeah. Anything that's sponsored,
I went out and bought it myself.
So there you go. When we go into sponsored,
what's that?
When you go into sponsored, this would be where you are somehow the cost of that game for me, an end user, versus Bob, reviewer, would be somehow offset. And this is where you and me, Bob, actually might come at odds here, because a sponsored game could be, EA saying, "Here's the game, we want you to review it," or "Here's the game, we'll pay you to review it."
But they're paying you, exactly.
Yeah, or it could be, you paid for the game, but we'll give you some extra keys so your friends can play with you.
Right. And this is and that's where the first big gray area is. Me personally, if they're just giving you a key to review it, will it affect you when you're a smaller YouTuber like me? Oh yeah, it will. I am not so ignorant to think otherwise. But when you're
He's ignorant for other reasons, just not that.
Yes. But when, like, say, if you're Total Biscuit, who's a much bigger YouTuber, or if you work for IGN, that happens as often as going to grab a glass of water. It means nothing to you. You take it for granted, so you don't see the incentive to review them positively anymore.
That's interesting. I never thought about that.
So yes,
there can be a weighing factor.
Review codes, because like Hippie, she gets review codes from smaller indie developers, because how the indie developers are looking at it is, we're going to stand by our game. We're not pressuring you to review it positively. We just need someone to review it, period. So we're willing to give away this copy, because if you review it and it sounds like something somebody would like, because we believe this is a good game, then like some advertisement, like giving you a $20 game when advertisement costs would be a lot more in other areas.
Certainly. Yeah. And okay, so that to that point though, I will agree with you on that. And that I didn't really think about the fact that there's a difference between me, where a $5.99 game, $5.99 doesn't seem like much, but to me it is. So getting that kind of game for free can potentially have influence. And of course, I'm just somebody out that's going to say, "Oh, well, I can be unbiased regardless." Yeah, you know what? I'm sure you can say that, but the fact of the matter is basically I want to say I'm on it.
Kills.
Exactly.
Perception, that's right.
So there's some big organizations that may say, "Oh, well, we could give a crap less," especially little indie developers. And a good point to what Bob brought up is there is a certain symbiosis in the gaming world between game devs and game reviewers, and we've seen it go both ways. In Bob's example, small unknown indie dev tries to get their game out to as many small reviewers as possible, and again asking for honest reviews, but realistically just trying to get the news out there so that people actually hear about it, and that may have a sweat, it may not. Whereas bigger companies like IGN, for example, may just kind of we'll get to it. But here's the other thing.
Yeah.
If I go to IGN,
and this is where it gets muddy. If you kind of let me go on this one.
Run.
For example, I have a buddy who streams. He does dev streams to where he's building his game. And the game's called Sword and Board. I will never review that game because I know the guy. I'm kind of friends with the guy.
Yeah.
Even if I did it completely unbiased, and it got an okay review from me, it wouldn't seem that way.
Right. And that's back to what you were talking about, perception.
Perception kills everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
At that point, I'm killing my credibility and his.
And his, all in one shot. Yeah.
And even if I go, it's good, it's a good solid Zelda clone, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's not going to work well. But like, say if I had my still had my podcast running and I was taking sponsorship from, say, Vivendi, from them while I was reviewing one of their games on my review.
There's the other side of it. See, and this is where you get into gray area, because there are times when it's like, well, okay, we can sit there and tell you over and over again, hi, we're doing unbiased reviews on Bottle Rocket Gaming for, X company, but then we have banner ads from that company. And it may be true, we may have paid for the game, for all you care. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is there's some offset there. So, again, perception is very important. Now, when it comes to the aspect of the ethics of this, perception plays a key thing here. But perception goes both ways. And one of it is, I'm being honest with you, I paid for this game, but I'm also getting ad revenue or I'm getting freebies from this company. But the other side of that is we start diving into the realm of less than what I would consider reasonable clarity on things. This is we start getting into away from the reviews of stuff and promotional sponsors reviews versus non-sponsored, and start getting into the promotional realm. And this is where you get kind of a little gray area, because we're talking about the ethics and reviews, but the fact of the matter is that kind of bleeds into when people start doing promotion. Like, literally, I'm going to sit down and play this game and tell you that's a great game. The problem with that is that I'm getting compensated by a company under the expressed clarity that
you're either getting compensated by the
the company or some kind of promotion,
distribution company,
but
or the rights holder.
Specifically getting compensated for a positive review and not being clear about it. Now, Kirok, I'm going to put you on the line here for a minute, because
no worries.
To start off with the lightest of the lightest end of the gray area. Now you're playing a game, and you bought the game. It's your game, but you as a YouTuber, you do your due diligence. You contact them. You make sure that it's okay to do this, and they run you through.
So I do that often. I actually, I was on vacation this last week. I actually put together a list finally of all these games over the last couple of years that I've been wanting to do Let's Plays on. Unlike Bob, I don't do reviews. I just do Let's Plays or
and that's a completely different format.
But at the same time, I'm putting their IP, their intellectual property, on my channel, and I'm seeking permission to do so, as well as if I can run ads on it, which aren't necessarily, like they're ads that YouTube puts on.
Yeah, you're just doing your due diligence, and basically, you don't own the assets, music, and blah, 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 and you're basically saying, hey, I want to Let's Play this.
Yes.
We both know what a Let's Play is because you're in the business.
Yeah.
Are you okay with it? And they say...
So generally, I've gotten an overwhelming yes. Just hit the mic, sorry. Most of them, especially like the smaller guys, and I see it now that I got my HTC Vive and I want to do a whole bunch of HTC Vive games. Mm-hmm. Most of them, almost I'd say 90% of them are like, yeah, no problem, go right ahead. Yes, no problem, go right ahead. And I get
those emails.
I have it all documented. So the whole point of that is that I want to make sure that they're okay with it. But it's not. I look at it as not just me down the line, possibly something going wrong. I respect them for creating that content, and I'm not just going to go and blatantly put it online. I want them to tell me, yes, you can. If they say no, then I just don't play it. Simple.
With reviews, it's protected slightly better as far as a legal defense because it's covered under critique. So I don't have to ask.
Well, that doesn't matter with YouTube's auto flagging. But what I want to get to.
The thing is I have enough time and I have and
I have no
care
patience
just little
for it.
enough to where I would take them to court.
The thing about this, and the reason why I want to use Kirok as an example, even though he doesn't do reviews, but he does do gameplay, is that he goes to this company and says, "Hey, I want to do this in this game," but then they give you something nonetheless, not related to this game.
No, exactly. So I asked permission for Game X. I'm not going to say names or anything, and they replied back saying, by all means, you can go ahead and play and you can monetize. And I was like, awesome. Then further down in the email, they say, hey, by the way, would you like codes for this other game? And
it's like,
so I was like,
that's more content you can produce.
Exactly. So I was like, absolutely. I would love it. And thank you. And so then, of course, they sent me the codes. Now, this is where that muddy area begins. If I begin doing a Let's Play on that game where they provided codes, I didn't go out and purchase it like I did this game, then I need to either actually in my description as well as in the video, disclose.
The laws have changed. You have to put it in your video.
Yeah. So, hey, by the way, guys, this game was given to me by the developer such and such for this purpose of playing and sharing the game experience with
Exactly.
Yeah. So would I have to do that in every episode though?
No, it would honestly be reasonable to put it at the beginning of the series, because typically with Let's Plays, not to confuse with walkthrough videos.
Yeah, and this
which
is
a
where it
different
becomes
type of Let's Play. Those are usually, you start at like let's say Half-Life, right? You're doing a Let's Play of Half-Life.
Yeah.
Half-Life number 1, goofy title. Half-Life number 2, goofy title.
Right.
Half-Life number 3, goofy title. You know, that's how it works. And people watch it, and usually in a playlist or something. So it would be reasonable and expected that you go, hey, full disclosure, I got this game when I was for free from X company when I was asking them when I was streaming, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, yeah, sure. And by the way, would you like this? Because, you know, a thing is, when it comes to Let's Plays more than reviews.
Yeah.
The gaming industry, from the people in the industry that I've talked to, look at it as free advertisement, and they don't have to compensate you because YouTube will.
So if you guys want a full-on tutorial and instruction on best practices for doing YouTube channel, we might bring that up in a later date. But to talk about the aspect of ethics, in most cases, you would expect the person to state it up front. But at that point going forward, if you're doing reviews of stuff, you don't really, usually reviews aren't multiple segment, but I wouldn't expect anybody to sit there and every single time necessarily. Well, actually, I take it back. In reviews, you may say every single time. In your case, Kirok, since you're not doing reviews, you may just say it once at the beginning and just put it down in the towel section and call it good enough.
Here's where the thing can get gray, or it can get muddy, as you guys were saying. If I don't make that disclosure or say it or write it in there, and let's say I really like the game, I just really like the game, it may look like I'm promoting the game. And then if it comes out that I got that game for free, there's that perception thing again, where it's like,
why we have the towel section.
That perception can bite you legally now because of something we'll get to in a minute. If it seems enough like an advertisement, even though it actually isn't, but it seems enough like an advertisement, you can still have to go to court over it for violating antitrust laws.
Well, we're not lawyers. I'll say we're not lawyers. We don't give legal advice by any stretch of imagination. But our perception and what we've seen happen in the past, I've seen weird stuff happen before. A couple of things to note, guys, and this is where it's very quick. When it comes to doing reviews, you may like somebody, they may be very comical when they do reviews. There may be some aspect they like about them. But regardless, if you're genuinely watching a review because you want to know about the game, I would hope and expect that you'd be smart enough to always make sure that you watch more than one video or go to more than one site. Because if you're looking at a particular person you watch and you notice that his reviews or her reviews seem to disagree with the masses, that could be a sign. I'm not saying it is. Yeah. They may just generally like weird off the wall kind of crap, but that's kind of a telltale sign. So you should always get well-rounded reviews from multiple places. I have a pack of sites I go to that give me the whole breakdown. So bear that in mind.
A good example of what you're talking about is there was a game called Star Fox Zero. and there's a reviewer that I'll watch all the time because there are comedy elements in the show, and it feels more like a full production than just a review, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now Star Fox Zero got slammed critically. He liked it because of the innovation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he admits and has admitted in the past he's a Star Fox fanboy.
So those people may be a little more biased in some senses, but again, the wider masses usually get well-rounded. It's the same thing when you guys go to do movie reviews. Some people go to Metacritic, some people go to Rotten Tomatoes, etc. And you don't want to say, "Oh, I'm a Tomatoes fan. I only go to Tomatoes for my reviews." If you only one place for your reviews, you're kind of dumb. I mean, granted,
you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah. You're doing yourself a disservice. They may lean towards you may agree with them more often than not, which is fine, but still look at other sides to see if there's a general trend to it. So, anyways, I want you. Sorry.
At the end of the day, they're not you.
Exactly, and that's the other thing.
There's games that I'm going to love in the reviews, and I think they're priced appropriately for what they are. That you're like, I wouldn't pay for that. The game is horrible, and blah blah blah. Because, for example, I love arcade shooter games that aren't military based, and I rag on games that are military based that are arcade.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people are the exact opposite way around.
Exactly. And people are going to have different opinions, and that's why you want to get around about it. Anyways, to shift gears real quick, the other side of things I want to talk about is the aspect of promotion. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because, again, there's been a bad case of people acting like they're reviewing something when it's really not a review. And there's a couple of things I want to point out here. First off, when it comes to promotion, again, the idea of promotion is when you are compensated to give positive feedback or promotion for anything, for like content, items, events, or giveaways. This is promotion aspect, and in any situation that deals with you being compensated for these explicit act of positive feedback or positive review or promotion of something, this by law on almost any books, any country, they state clearly that you have to be clear about it. You can't kind of pretend that it's a review.
There's a lot of laws, and my best advice is ask a lawyer.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's so convoluted that I once wanted to try to do a giveaway, and it was a small one to where the grand total would have been about $1,000, because that's small for a giveaway.
Right.
Because it was $1,000 through a lot of people, and it was part of a fundraising thing to where, there was going to be Magic cards, Pokemon cards, and other comic books and other things given away that had been $1,000 that was sponsored by a local comic book store. But because of the laws in the state and municipality of where we're at the time, we didn't have enough time to get through all the paperwork.
The point is, there are laws.
Yeah, they are laws.
So,
and they can bite you.
Without muddling it down into the details of that, I don't want to get. Again, we're not here to teach you how to do promotions and giveaways. We're simply to talk about those aspects. So,
ask a lawyer and ask companies that do this for a living.
So, the whole point of it has to do with the aspect of what is defined as promotion and what are some of the pitfalls we have seen. So, Kirok, one of the things we talked about was, first of all, again, trying to go to the grayest of gray area, the lightest of gray areas, is just innocence in terms of not stating it clearly enough, or in some cases having some companies that tend to be a little bit kind of telling the YouTuber that put below the fold. Can you explain that terminology?
So essentially, promotional basically intends or means that whoever's promoting that video, so if I'm promoting a particular game, I'm expected to give a good promotion of it, a positive review if I'm doing a positive review, but they put certain restrictions on it and they say, well, you have to disclose it, but in YouTube, when you have your description at the very bottom under the video, it can be I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there's that little button that says show more, and you actually see all or the entire description, whereas you could say show less and it shows less. Sometimes there are certain restrictions placed on that deal that say, oh, you should have it below. So essentially what they're doing is they're not indicating or disclosing that it's a promotional video, but they're kind of burying it, so you have to work hard to go and find it. Otherwise, most people won't even hit that button and try. They wouldn't even know, and they might think it's a non-promoted video.
Yeah, because even corporations understand the concept that the best place to hide something is on the top of page 2 on a Google search.
Yeah, something like that. Well, I mean, to give you a real-world example, there was the whole thing with PewDiePie and Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers was paying for paid promotion. It was clearly stated as paid promotion, but where this got shady was Warner Brothers specifically said, you have to note that below the fold.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
and the defense on PewDiePie on this one, I don't think he intentionally did anything wrong purely out of ignorance sort of thing. Because this sort of thing, it was like a legal landmine that nobody saw coming.
Yeah, he was
when the FCC.
He was forced to. It was in Warner Brothers stated things. You have to put things below the fold. So that's one extreme of it is we're going to promote it. We're going to try to hide. Like, technically, the most extreme end is we're going to blatantly say this is a promotion. It's otherwise known as like a commercial, an advertisement, advert, however you want to call it. These are type of promotions. Usually, Lower Third comes in and said, thanks to our sponsors over at whoever.com and blah blah. Sometimes they don't do
Or
that.
If you want to get into 2 a.m. TV, like when you see TV ads.
Oh God!
It's like an hour-long show for the slap.
For people who have insomnia, you'll know what we're talking about.
Slap chop.
Now,
but Bob,
or maybe the shake weight.
You were saying that that's different now, though, right? Now it has to be said in the video.
Not only in the video, but at the beginning of most of these, it's like, this is a paid advertisement by blah, 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 blah.
And again,
the whole spiel.
Completely dependent on where you are.
And now that's kind of catching up with the internet.
Sort of. Okay. And again, because the internet, this is the problem is that we're talking about outdated architectures of TV that have specific areas of broadcast in. Now, the internet is wide, and the problem is you're running into a lot of issues with multiple countries. Anyways, again, don't want to get into the legal aspect of it, but going to the other extreme end of things when it comes to promotion and being just downright deceitful. Bob, CSGO, we talked about the gambling. God.
This one made me sick to my stomach when I first heard about it. So, basically, I'm not going to name any names because I can't remember the names because my memory's shit.
T. Martin.
Okay, it was T. Martin and someone else. But basically, they owned CSGO Lotto. But in their videos...
Never stated it.
They not only never stated it, they went as far as in saying, hey, I found this really cool website and I'm winning this blah, blah, blah. And it was a gambling website, and that's another thing to get into.
Right.
But they were promoting a website and service that they owned the website and service. They were stakeholders.
In a misleading way.
And they were promoting it in a way as if they didn't own it. They just ran into it through the grand chaos of random happenstance.
And this is bad.
This isn't just bad. This is cataclysmically bad. As far as marketing, this is the type of shit show you try to avoid.
This is the kind of thing where your lawyer goes, yeah, you're going to be poor after we fight this one. And to be clear, when I say this is the extreme end of things, guys, these guys were so deceitful that they intentionally tried to hide it, didn't note it in their towel section, didn't note it below the fold, didn't note it at all. And then when when they got
this
caught,
is the part that kills me. There's like, oh well, our affiliation was a matter of public record. Okay, well, since this is a gaming show, let me use a video game analogy. This would be like you putting an Easter egg in a video game that did all this stuff for whoever could find it. And whenever you're promoting this game, you're using these features that could only be accessed using this Easter egg. And whenever someone buys the game, it's like, what about all these features? Oh, they're in there. You just got to do this saying that I am not talking
Go
about.
here, jump here, hit this button, type yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
It's like, congratulations. Nobody would know to look into the program of life that is our legal system.
Yeah, these guys even went back through. I want to give love to a YouTube channel, small, like literally this small YouTube channel called Honor the Call. He's the one that actually broke this originally. This is kind of what set him onto his fame run. But these guys not only didn't state anything that they were promoting a site that they owned, but when they got caught, tried to go back and then put it in the title section, like, oh look, it's always been there. Yeah. Not understanding the idea of the internet and things like the Wayback Machine on Internet Archive.
Once it's out there, it's out there.
So basically, they got nailed to the wall. So, and again, the reason why I bring this up, guys, is because this goes to the extreme ends of reviews versus promotion and trying to open your eyes to make sure you understand. I don't care how much you love these YouTubers, whether they're small-time people or big people like PewDiePie. There is always subject to be some issues to be had there. And I want to be very, very clear on this because people tend to get blinders on. They love X so much, they don't want to believe anything coming out. You need to keep it in mind.
Let me go ahead and point this far out. I'll even put myself out there. Yes, I'm trying to make a buck. If I get a sponsorship deal, I will take it dependent on the source.
Bob,
because of my ethics.
Bob, believe nothing that Bob says. That's the best way to go about this.
But I could easily be lying through my teeth to white knight myself so you can watch my shit. And
that's crazy talk.
Like, and you know, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Just buyer beware, and that includes with reviews. Go, okay, why is this person really reviewing this? Like, yeah, he wants me to watch his stuff, or she wants to watch her stuff because that's how YouTube works.
And read the show notes, because there might be something there that tells you a little something about. Anyways, so guys, again, quick shout out to Honor the Call. He doesn't need our love; he's already huge, you know. But nevertheless, if you want to keep abreast of what's going on, he oftentimes sees a crack. It isn't just that. He wasn't one trick pony. He has opened up a lot of other things going on. So definitely encourage you to open your eyes to it. And definitely keep that in mind.
He is the Snopes.com of YouTube.
Currently, it is. Anyways, so that's that, guys. I do appreciate hanging with us through all of this menagerie. If there's any particular aspects you have thoughts and opinions on, we'd love to see your comments down below or in the show notes over at BRG.com in our forums. But I definitely want to get your guys' feedback, because it's a really interesting topic, especially since a lot of us in BRG happen to be YouTubers, either for gameplay or for reviews, like Bob, for example.
Yep.
It's definitely worth checking things out because, well,
this is definitely a broader conversation.
It definitely is. But anyways, guys, I appreciate that. I do want to kind of circle things up here. We do have a wonderful, wonderful little for the win. All I'm going to say is, oh my dear golly, go on to
check out the show notes.
Yeah, check out Trump Pinata. That's all you're getting. You know how this works. Hit the show notes. Check out the links. Check out Trump Pinata.
You almost should pull a Philip DeFranco. I was like, it's the secret link of the week. And just let like that shock hit them.
Exactly.
I might just spend the $1 for this.
Yeah. Hey, where they just go in cold, have no idea what's happening, and they just see that like.
Bob, my friend.
Yes.
We talked about zeros as a part of this thing called Minus Rumors, but you are too.
Yes.
What are you guys doing?
Honestly, every week we do a podcast where it's completely news based, and it's not rumor based at all. And while I enjoy talking about the news, it's not always for me, but it does have its fun points, because we talk about tech, movies, comic books, things that are happening in the game industry, and you know, all the movers and shakers that might finally trickle down.
The actual facts, not just possibilities.
The actual facts, not leaks, not undocumented sources, not, they sent out this tweet. What could that possibly mean?
Hence, minus the rumors.
And we do our best to treat our audience as intelligent human beings that they can discern them for themselves what the facts actually are and what the meaning of it is.
So, first of all,
So
where
basically,
can they
not
find
CNN
you
or
and when?
Fox News. At 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays on Twitch TV / Minus the Rumors. That's us every week. We have other shows around the same time, but on different days. On Mondays, I believe it's a Meet the Round Table, towards more of a round table discussion, to where that's where we actually do the more talky talk and just speculation and stuff, to where to where we involve
Where
the
Minus Rumors actually has
chat.
rumors?
Yeah. It's not, but it's not Minus the Rumors. It's a Minus the Rumors Productions, but it's just like how we're interpreting it, towards just us scratching our heads, going, "I don't know."
Sellouts. Anyways, I kid.
But it's a great way of us having feedback and going, "Yeah, when you covered blah blah blah, I was thinking it was about this, but a week later when the rest of the story broke, it wasn't." I was like, "Yeah, weird how that works out, huh?" That's why we don't speculate, because we'd rather report things that are based in truth and fact than speculation, because speculation can easily be sold as the truth and proven wrong.
Certainly. So basically, long story short, you guys got a lot of new content now coming out.
Yeah, and basically, I think everybody is doing the Extra Life thing as far as the individuals, and Krim, that lucky, was able to get to TwitchCon, so there's more rolling out, because he's had a fire lit up under him, and I can't wait to see what he's got down on the burner.
So what's this Death's Door?
And I would say an hour, but the first time I recorded it with them, it was 3. The second time we recorded with them was 2. But every other week on Mondays, we record, and it's done live, but posted at a later date, much like this is. But it's not video; it's completely audio.
Total audio.
Okay.
And basically, Warped, you'd be a good fit there. Because it's us BSing about games. They do have other subjects such as tech, anime, and all sorts of stuff, to where they have entire podcasts about, it's like, what have you been watching in movies and film for the past 2 weeks?
Sounds like we find you in a lot of places.
Yeah, I am spreading around like herpes.
Well, that is a lovely thought. I want to leave it right there just so that can kind of soak with people. You can find Bob everywhere like herpes.
Because you just can't get rid of me.
So by association, since you have been on this podcast and Kirok has been on this podcast, that means you can go over to the North York Gaming Lodge and get herpes.
Oh my goodness. So North York Gaming Lodge is a group that me and a couple of real life friends have kind of put together, and what we've been doing, or what we haven't done a whole lot, we've slowly been kind of lifting off and doing our thing, or getting into what we want to do, and that is one of the guys in the group is more into the reviewing or doing what Bob does and do reviews for video games, but he streams. The other gentleman streams as well, and I'm now trying to move more into streaming. I have streamed on Twitch before, but the last couple of days I actually twitched on Beam for the first time, and I'm making the switch over to Beam just because I like the interface better and it works. So you can actually find me on Beam Pro. Just do a search for Kirok, Kirrok.
Nice.
So I'm going to be doing I'm going to switch over to that and do 2D streaming, or just regular game streaming, and some VR streaming in there as well. And I want to post some of that content on my own channel, as well as on the North York Gaming Lodge YouTube channel too. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be
awesome.
Stuff.
That's in addition to all of the other usual things for
Kirok
and Singularity and everything else. So
you got it. Yeah,
busy man.
So it's a different thing. Do a little bit here, a little bit there.
So definitely, guys,
you know how it is. You got to put yourself everywhere to see what bites.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, guys, definitely head on over to YouTube and look up the North York game. We gotta get a simpler name than this.
No, it was a name that just we sat down. We're like, what are we gonna call this? I don't know. We want to make
The
a point of it.
NYGL. Sounds very
We
forward.
wanted to make a point of it being like gamers from Toronto. So that's what that came from. So yeah.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah.
So, guys,
The North York
they've got a
Gaming
few
League
subs.
of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I would like to see everybody who's part of BRG and watching this podcast go over there, check them out, give them some love. Go ahead and subscribe so you can keep up with what's going on when the stuff comes out. If you want a really easy time to keeping up with what's going on, go to my channel because all you have to do is just know there's nothing going on. And I'm up
I think
a
I
sub.
saw some crickets.
I'm up a
Maybe
sub to
some
69. Whoever just subscribed, thank you. I might have content someday. Go over to the BRG's YouTube site if you want to see what I'm doing, guys, currently. As I said, we are a wonderful gaming group, and we encompass a lot of things you can see. The guys you have here tonight are wonderful people that love to do content, from gaming content, if I had the time, to podcasts of all sorts. And you can see we've got a full gamut of different personalities here in terms of reviews, canon feedback, some great topics that Bob's had on sequel syndrome in the past, and then all those content that
Personalities
got.
is right.
Multiple personalities. You can find all that and a lot more on BRG website. There's also a lot of new stuff coming up on Not Quite Nerd. We gave them a little shout out, I think, an episode or two ago. So definitely check that out. And of course, as I said, guys, keep up to date with what's going on with us on our YouTube channel. We got the podcast here. We have the unboxing, which I should be the next one on whenever it shows up. You got Bob's unboxing with his girlfriend, as well as the nerds. And I don't know why we're not getting our weekly updates. I have to go yell at Dude Still.
Yeah, let's see. With the box, it should be there about either 1 week before or 1 week after the change of the month. Yeah,
somewhere on there. And of course, as I said, guys, we are on Votable. Votable is a fun site where you can find a lot of things, not just gaming related, just about anything related. As a matter of fact, to give you a great example, there's you can actually create your own rooms regarding anything. Kirok actually created the VR room, and that place is bumping.
Yeah,
so you can head over and check that out.
It's growing crazy. It's shocked, actually.
It's going nuts. I actually started a podcast group as well. Not nearly as exciting, but it nevertheless is there. So go over to Vobel, check us out, give us a little love, give us a little promote if you guys can. We certainly do appreciate it. And again, when it comes to the aspect of helping us out, guys, if you have a buck you can spare, we appreciate it and we do love it. And it is a lot to say. I being as poor as I am, I understand and appreciate $1. So we thank you for that. If you can't, again, hit up Vogel, hit up Twitter, hit up YouTube, give us a thumbs up, a like, a whatever. Get the word out there. Let people know that we're here and that we'd love to have more people watching. All right, guys. I'm actually dog-ass tired, and you guys are 3 hours later than me, so I think I'm going to say it's about time to say goodnight.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
It's like we had such good fucking banter that you could have used for pre-roll.
Yeah, life is what it is. Nice. Go away, bugs. She fly, you bother me. She fly, you bother me.